Storm Chasers, yes, we got the Enhancement Shaman in action for you today. Did the first wing of LFR Highmaul, and yeah, this is basically going to give you an idea of how basically seeing the rotation in action from my guide video. This is not my guide video, just so you know, so if you want to see that, then just go ahead and click on the annotation at the top of the video, or click the link in the description and it will take you there. So, getting started here, we're going to show you what's basically going to be in single target and AoE situations. Right now, with this little pre-boss fight, I guess, this little mini-boss, I suppose, I used a fair bit of AoE because of all the ads on the side and stuff like that. So, you know, when Maelstrom's fully procced, I'll have my Chain Lightning out. But it doesn't seem to really, but the way they're spread out right here, they just seem to, the Chain Lightning's really not going to reach them at that point. So, but Lava Lash's Flame Shock spread will. So, if you recall from the guide that I put up at the time of the recording, I had my Glyph of Lava Lash put on, so it wouldn't spread Flame Shock to the dummy, to the other dummy, because I didn't want to get whopped. Yeah, that dummy's a killer. But anyway, yeah, I did do a lot of Flame Shock spreading and using Fire Nova off cooldown, and you know. You could also line up your Unleash elements so that way you can put off an increased damage Fire Nova. So that's pretty good. And that was Volgor dispatched pretty easily, so we're going to get that taken care of. And now we're getting ready to face Kargath in just a moment. But yeah, I've noticed that the Unleash elements, regardless of what spec you are, they seem to. I like how it lasts a little bit longer, so you have more of an opening to be able to use your corresponding spells. So you know, get a chance to use your Flame Shock with Unleash elements if need be, or if you were Elemental, you'd have more of an opening to use Lava Burst in case you had it off cooldown or something like that. But yeah, I'm just checking out a shield right there. Yeah, I do stuff like that sometimes. You may see a few spastic things, like I'm double-checking the dungeon journal or something like that, but I'm really going to be, I'm really going to be just telling you how it is with how to play the Enhancement Shaman. So let's get started here with Kargath. Getting started with Kargath in just a moment. And now we're going to pull. So my single target rotation. You want to open up. You want to open up with Unleash Elements and get your Flame Shock going and Storm Strike, and then Lava Lash. Mainly I'll use all that off cooldown, and then Frost Shock. I love the Glyph of Frost Shock, so it reduces the cooldown incurred by it, so it doesn't share the global cooldown with all shock spells, so that comes in handy. So after you get your Flame Shock on your target, you spam the crap out of Frost Shock, and then of course a full Maelstrom weapon stack of 5 gets you a free lightning bolt out of that, and an instant lightning bolt. And with this fight, mainly you have to worry about the tanks have to worry about being impaled, as you can see right there. God, that looks gruesome, doesn't it? And yeah, that's just really ridiculous. It's a gory looking situation. And let's see here. Then you see right there this Berserker Rush. Usually he goes for the ranged on that. Usually the main normal tactic is to lead him into those fire traps with Kargath, and yeah, that's basically that'll stop his Berserker Rush. Now I've done this initially on normal for the first time, and the only difference I see is that if you see those gates there on the floor, those contain cats, and those gates would open up on normal or heroic, and if you got close to those cats, you'd pretty much be done for there. But on LFR they restrict that. So, but other than that, most of the mechanics are still in place. So, and here in Chain Hurl, now I thought in Chain Hurl he would be going for normally the people, mostly people in melee range, but it looks like it's more randomized on LFR, which is odd to me. So yeah, there's usually not much going on there. Like I said, other than that, the mechanics seem to be intact. And as you can see, I've always been. You also want to make sure that again, you want to use your Feral Spirits off cooldown, because yeah, because especially with the glyph, it lowers the cooldown of feral spirits by a little bit, and the durations, just like the fire elemental glyphs almost. But it comes in handy, so you have a lot. So you have some more sustain, a little more higher sustained DPS. I believe, in my opinion, if you have, as long as you keep using feral spirit off cooldown. And yeah, you want to also, again, you see the Ascendants there. I like how they changed the graphic on Ascendants with little wind attack instead of just that lightning, that big lightning, looks like a chain lightning type animation. But yeah, it's you just make sure that's what you pop all those cooldowns when they come off cooldown. It's a little more hectic for me because I've got 2 used trinkets. I got 2 more on-used trinkets on me, so that adds a little more to the table there on what I have to keep an eye open for. And Kargath is nearly about to bite the dust again. I sure wish I got the fist weapon off this guy. He actually drops a fist weapon in LFR, and sadly it's not the blade fist like what I've got on my rogue. It looks like a PvP fist weapon, but doesn't matter. It still would have been a nice upgrade, I think. So, but yeah. And see, there, watch out for the chain hurl. Now, I'll go ahead and notify you of the chain hurl mechanic. If you get the chain hurl put on you, you're going to be thrown up into the stands, and what you want to do is you want to take out the ads there, because the reason being is that the ads throw those green puddles there on the ground, and they throw little bombs and stuff like that. So you basically want to try to get those out of the stands. And there you have it. That takes care of Kargath. And gotta skip the cutscene there for timing and whatnot. And it says you just got another rune. Oh well, comes in handy for the deeps. Now I like how we get to the next boss, the Butcher up ahead. He's pretty easy enough to get to. You don't have to get to any trash. You just simply jump down, kill the big pig. The big pig down there, and you get straight to the Butcher. Now with the Butcher, I'll explain the mechanics in just a moment. And here I'm just checking the journal again, seeing what drops. Yeah, sometimes I didn't switch my specs, I just switch my loot specialization depending on what's more convenient for me. So I get the trinket, just as a small spoiler, I get the trinket, the spellcaster trinket off of this guy so I can use it for my elemental set. But anyway, I'm going to take out the pig real quick and dispatch with him and have us a nice little bacon dinner. Yummy, 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 yummy bacon. Yeah, playing Enhancement's pretty fun. I still really like Elemental for what it is. I played Elemental I've started off as Enhancement when I really got heavy into WoW, which was back during early Wrath of the Lich King, and then around 3.2 I wanted another change of pace, so I got to Elemental around 3.2, and it stuck with me ever since, and I really like it. But Enhancement's making its comeback. In fact, I think it's pulling ahead of Elemental right now, but yeah, I still prefer Elemental over it. But Enhancements come with a lot of changes. I kind of miss the Earth Shock thing. There used to be a macro where you switch between Flame Shock and Earth Shock that I made, and that was a nice little DPS increase there with that macro. But now it's fine. You don't have to worry about that now, because you just worry about spamming the crap out of Earth Shock after you put Flame Shock on your target. Alright, here we go. We got the Butcher. Now, normally on the Butcher, in normal mode, you want to have normal to heroic mode, and mythic, of course, is you want to have 2 separate groups to take that cleave, but the cleave doesn't do nearly enough damage, so all the melee's just going crazy, and excuse me, all the melee's just going ham and just staying up close to them. So that's basically the case there, and it's just really not. There's just really not a whole lot of damage going out from that from the cleave that he does. So everybody goes nuts. The tanks still switch off Tenderizer though. He still does the Tenderizer debuff on the tanks, so that's why they still need 2 tanks. Other than that, the two group mechanic, as I was saying, they need to have to take the cleave, and then another group needs to be ready to take the bounding cleave. But as you can see, it really doesn't matter, because the bleed that it gives off and the damage is just not enough in LFR, which is kind of lame, really. But you know how LFR is; it's a whole tourist thing, in my opinion. So, yeah. But as an Enhancement Shaman, since it's melee, if you were in a normal group, you would not. It doesn't matter what group you were with; you still stay there. You still stay there with in melee range like everybody else. You just make sure you stay away from the group that has to move in, so you still don't get cleaved and take more bleeding damage. And yeah, so on and so forth, and just go accordingly. And after you take enough stacks of the dot, usually would if you were ranged, you would move back. You'd be moving back away from the butcher and not be in melee range anymore, so another group could move in and stack on that. But yeah, that's mostly it. That's mostly it for this fight. Especially it's a joke on LFR. It doesn't take long to kill him at all, really. Yep. And racking up them abrogator stones, or I know Tally. If you know who Tally is, he's a really good streamer. He calls them alligator stones for a joke. And I just did a quick transition from there to here. I wasn't thinking. I switched specs on while trying to put on the trinket, which I didn't need to do. So yeah, that's why I did a little quick clip of some footage. And we're just wrapping up some trash here and heading on towards Bracken Spore. Now, Bracken Spore, really not a whole lot there in LFR, but I'll explain the mechanics once we get there. And here I am again, spastically checking the journal, see if there's anything good for me. I'll make sure to stop doing that for the sake of recording and whatnot. Excuse me. It's been such a terrible habit with me when it comes to doing raids and whatnot, or doing dungeons. I always want to check stuff in the middle of things, and I mean, if I want to keep doing that, I might as well not do that on a boss fight, like during a boss fight. So anyway, we're just wrapping up a little bit more trash here. Here's a good place to demonstrate some of the AoE action. I mean, Enhancement can really crank out the AoE DPS here. It's just actually, then again, yeah, there you go. Got my liquid magma going, chain lightning. I can do my lava lash spread, flame shock spread. It really does a lot of AoE DPS. It's crazy. I mean, Enhancement doesn't mess around with AoE DPS. It's insane, to be honest. Oh boy. Yeah, but Bracken Spore is really not all that bad, but I'll explain the mechanics in just a moment once we get to that point. Just wiping out the trash, and then going to. Oh, we got a cat. We got somebody with the claws of Shivra or whatever, a druid over there. Yeah, it's interesting talent, like a Saberon from Nagrand or not. Yeah, Nagrand or Gorgrond or wherever they're at. Can't remember. Okay, getting these last two guys here. Come on, take him out. I'm so slow. Sometimes. And the only thing I hate about LFR is how people are so freaking spastic and want to pull the boss as soon as they get there and not warn people. That's been like that. It's been more common now lately with warlords, and it took a while for LFR to actually come out. But anyway, with this fight, you want to, if you're in melee range, you basically want to be ready to get the big ad when it comes out, because it will cast this spell by the name of Decay. Sorry, I'm stuttering here, but can't. I think I've had too much coffee or something. And you want to interrupt it, so that's usually the case for all the melee people. Otherwise, I think the ranged would be worried about the spore shooters there. Yeah, they'd be worried about the spore shooters. If you can see there to the right that just vanished, those little spore shooter flowers, the ranged have to take care of those, and usually two people need to take care of the flamethrower to get rid of some moss around the edge of the area. And there you see the big ads out, so I'm about to switch to it in just a moment, and this is where you want to make sure to use your wind shear, use the crap out of it. A little tip: you can macro one of your offensive spells to wind shear, so every time you get to interrupt something, you can also cast an offensive spell. So that'll be a little extra DPS immediately after you interrupt. And I have my chain lightning hooked up to it because usually I would be interrupting in a trash bag. So I mean, I know I could just go back to lightning bolt, but I'm thinking, why not? Why the heck not? I'll just keep chain lightning up. And since with the cooldowns on interrupts, usually you have to cycle in a normal thing, you would have to have a set group of people cycling through interrupts to interrupt that decay there. And you can see that mind focus there. That's a priority target for normally ranged when that comes out, because it does a pulsing AoE that kind of hurts. And yeah, that's basically it there. And with the it comes out the infesting spores. And normally you need to be under. If you see this rejuvenating mushroom here, that's more of a bloodlust mushroom, so it gives you a lot of haste once it's fully healed up by the healers, and you can see it's activated right there. But in a bigger difficulty situation, in at least especially heroic, normal and heroic and mythic and all that, you want to be under a green mushroom when he does that infesting spores, because that hurts, and you need to be the green mushrooms will heal you for a lot. You can see it. There's one right there in the background. You would need to move over there immediately when he's getting close to using infesting spores, but in LFR it's just sadly not enough damage. This is just, again, a tourist thing. So yeah, that's about getting close, getting halfway there, past the halfway point now. Here comes the big ad again, and again you want to make sure that you want to switch targets. Melee, any melee that can interrupt would want to head over there now, start switching out. I don't switch over immediately because, well, you know, it's LFR again. But it really shouldn't be any excuse to ignore mechanics, because, I mean, I still raid a little bit of normal on my rogue and all that, and I want to be on my toes. I haven't done any normal or heroic raids on my shaman yet. But I really shouldn't be. I really don't want to make myself rusty at these mechanics. So okay, I finally switched to him, and I'm gonna be interrupting as much as I can. So, well, I don't do a whole lot of it right here. I guess we've got too many people that are interrupting him as it is, but believe me, I haven't forgotten that mechanic. Decay needs to be interrupted no matter what, because even in LFR, decay can hurt. Decay can hurt if you don't pay attention. And big ad's down, wiped him out pretty quick, and Bracken Spore is getting ready. Oh. Yeah, that guy. There's one of those guys. I don't know why he said that, though. He was like he was talking to the raid and not the ads or something, but then again, I don't know. Must be one of his silly little RP macros. But yeah, it's pretty much rinse and repeat. You see there's another blue mushroom there, the haste mushroom that all the ranged are getting in. It'd be nice if they would move the boss a little closer to it, because haste is actually really good for an enhancement shaman right now. So, you know, that's the top stat. You want to get the haste up to 50%, like I discussed in the guide. Again, if you want to see the guide, you want to go to you definitely want to go to my guide video. So I'll make sure to link it in post. Don't worry. And he's just about to go down. Nothing, no problem going there. Oh, now somebody fully heals a green mushroom. Usually they don't pay attention to that in LFR. Not like it matters. But then there you have it. That's basically it. And I got some useless shoulders from it. Not really a whole lot going on there. But yeah, that's basically it for this first wing. That's usually how you want to focus on it. Focus on this. Now, I basically gave you the normal mechanics. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, guys. See you later.